and welcome to Radio Vision Network here at Around Town with Carole. And today we're going to be honoring all the firemen who dedicate their lives, and in particular to a fireman that was my grandfather, Walter Bergen. He brought his new bride from Philadelphia across the river into the peach fields of New Jersey, which to this day are called Pennsauken, New Jersey. He and his brother bought the first two houses in the middle of peach fields on 47th Street, and that's where my mom and her siblings were all raised. And here in the midst of the peach trees, he wondered what would happen if there was a fire, because they didn't have a fire department in that Delaware Gardens, Pennsauken area. And so he became the founder of the fire department and the chief for many, many decades. And I, as his firstborn granddaughter, got to ride on the fire truck in every parade along with the Dalmatian, which is a fire dog. So this interview today is near and dear to my heart, and with lots of thanks to all the firemen, especially we lost two firemen recently, who have dedicated their lives to serving others. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to Captain Daniel Kerr, who I met in a funny way.
We did.
It was a wintry day, all the schools were closed, and his son did not have a place. So my summer camp works all year round, and Daniel and I met, and his son had a wonderful time.
He did.
In the middle of the winter, we went in to feed the horses and the ducks and geese at Whitebriar, and so welcome to our show.
Thank you, Carole, for having me.
And tell us a little bit, number one, what does a fire marshal do?
What does a fire marshal do? Well, a little bit of everything in the fire service. First and foremost, our priority is fire suppression, and we want to make sure that we're there to serve the public through our suppression services, extinguishing fires, extrication, whether it's a technical rescue, hazardous materials assignment, things like that. So we respond to a fire or a call for service just like any other firefighter.
Now, do you actually put on the fire gear and actually work as a fireman?
We absolutely do. That is where we start. We start doing firefighting first, and then eventually when you have a few years in the business and you've gotten some extra training involved, you can move on to the position of a fire marshal, which is on top of being a firefighter, inclusive of enforcing the Uniform Fire Code in the state of New Jersey, as well as public education and, of course, fire investigations.
Okay, so you do inspections as well?
We do. We do inspections on all properties that are not owner-occupied, single-family dwellings. So businesses, barber shops, mom-and-pop stores, large warehouses, factories, you name it, we'll inspect it to make sure that the Uniform Fire Code is enforced appropriately.
And what would you say is the biggest fire hazard that people don't realize when you come in to do an inspection? What do you find is the shortfall for the mom and pop shops and those of us who are small business? What do we not do that we should do?
Well, I would say the number one issue with regard to commercial properties is electrical violations. Really not maintaining the electrical equipment. The extension cords are a huge problem. Abuse of the extension cords. Oftentimes extension cords are only rated for a certain amount of power to go through them, and they're used in appliances that are rated for a higher power. So the extension cord ends up failing at some point, which could create a fire. That would be in a commercial property. In single-family homes, our biggest issue, and we cannot enforce the code in the single-family owner-occupied, but our biggest fire danger there is cooking. A lot of people will experience a fire on the stove, and their first reaction is to extinguish that fire. And unfortunately, with oils and greases, it's a different type of fire, and water doesn't work, and oftentimes people get hurt. It's where most of our injuries occur in single-family homes, unfortunately.
So then, in other words, somebody's cooking on the stove and frying, particularly with the oils, and the oil catches fire, and immediately the instinct, and all the years that I've seen accidents happen, they pour water on it, and that spreads the fire and even scalds and burns the person. When in fact, what is my Girl Scout years taught me that you always have the bag of flour at hand to throw on top of the fire. What would you suggest in the case of a grease fire? What should the homeowner, the person, the cook in the kitchen be prepared with?
The first thing you need to have is absolutely, positively, without question, a lid. And I know for even my family, oftentimes when we pull the pots and pans out, the lid stays in the cabinet. It doesn't really come out too often. But the lid is the number one defense. What it'll give you the ability to do is to quickly suffocate the fire. Fire needs three things: fuel, oxygen, and heat. And if you deprive the fire from one of those things, the fire will naturally go out. So that is the number one answer, is the lid. If the lid's not available, one of the easiest things to use is sodium bicarbonate, which is found in baking soda or baking powder. And that is usually kept in a cabinet or inside of a refrigerator or freezer. A little bit of that will go a long way. Flour can work, although we don't recommend it so much nowadays. And things like brown sugar or even white sugar grains, they don't work at all.
No, that would be, the sugar would definitely not work. I'll be darned. And so many people are wanting to swat at it with a towel, or what would you think with that?
That's not good at all. And we don't use water because water will not mix with the oil. And so when you have the oil burning, it's going to be on top of whatever material is there. So if you try to use a towel to swat at it or an oven mitt, oftentimes what happens is the grease will stick, the burning grease will stick to that, and you'll end up flinging the fire and really causing a real big potential for burn injuries or spreading the fire a lot faster.
Now, is there a particular fire extinguisher that is recommended for the kitchen?
Absolutely. The most common fire extinguisher that you can get is an ABC rated fire extinguisher. And the reason there's codes on there is the fire extinguisher will tell you, based on the code rating, what type of fire it will put out. And an ABC fire extinguisher will extinguish an A-type fire, a B-type fire, and a C-type fire. An A-type fire being ordinary combustibles like wood, paper, rubber, things like that. B being class B being the liquids, the flammable liquids, the greases, and the oils. And C being energized electrical equipment. So with one fire extinguisher, you have the potential of extinguishing the most common types of fire within the home.
Very good. Now, you said electrical fires. Now, that is one of my fears, only because your electric wires you can't see. They're in your wall, and you presume they were all installed correctly. And but as older homes, you wonder what is the case. I know there was a scenario in a lot of the Willingboro homes where I went to high school, an aluminum wiring that was a problem with. Was that a fire hazard?
There is some issue with construction techniques that were used a long time ago with some of the older homes where aluminum and copper wiring were matched together, and it's not very good to match the two together. It creates a fault usually. But I would say for most of our viewers that to not fear so much. Most of the wiring that is put in your home was put in under a regulation of some type, at least for the last, yes, at least for the last 30 to 40 years. So most of the internal wiring in a home isn't the issue. And we don't see the failures there as much as we see the failures in where we as human beings get involved more recently, like extension cords, or we make a change to the breaker box, or we increase the power consumption in our home when our power originally was not designed for that. Our components were not designed for that, instead of upgrading the whole system. So it's not the original system, really, that's the problem. It's what we do to it and what we add to it that's become more of a problem, particularly nowadays. We have so many electronics going on in our home, and we live in an electronic age very much, so it's something that we need to consider to make sure that our home is still validly able to hold that type of power.
Yeah, and I know my fire marshal, when he comes in, he always has me using surge bars, and they seem to be a big help, especially in older homes, because the surge bar will trick off before it'll cause a situation.
And that's so very true, and we find that a lot with the surge protector will actually sustain the damage and take most of the hit in the older homes prior to it getting to the appliance or anywhere else, and that's the right thing to do.
That's the right thing. All right, Captain Kerr, if you will just hold on for a minute, we're going to take a commercial here, and we'll be back with Radio Vision Network, and this is Around Town with Carole, and we are talking about fire safety today. Come right back.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
And we're back here with Radio Vision Network, and we are talking fire safety here today with Captain Kerr and the Pennsauken and what's the other town that? Collingswood, Pennsauken and Collingswood Fire Marshal. Shared services, which is something we like here in New Jersey. And tell us some more good things that's going on in the fire marshal's life.
Well, I can say that the shared service agreement that you just mentioned was key for both of our communities. The Pennsauken Fire Department as well as the Collingswood Fire Department had some needs that they really needed to resolve, and allowing both of those departments to put together some resources and work a shared service for all their fire prevention needs has really made a huge difference and impact in the community. It allows us to get more done, but at a lower cost to the taxpayers.
Well, I remember I was in Governor Christy Todd Whitman's, one of the volunteers up at the State House for 10 years, and that was one thing she thought was a very good idea, and she did implement that. So we do have to thank Christy Todd Whitman for that one, the shared services. And what other services are you doing there?
Well, in the Township of Pennsauken, we enforce the Uniform Fire Code. In the Borough of Collingswood, we enforce the Uniform Fire Code along with the Property Maintenance Code and some nuisance ordinances, some health ordinances. We pretty much do all their code enforcement in the Borough of Collingswood. So we are very, very attached to the Borough of Collingswood and the people in it. We do love them to death.
Now, when you came in today, you have a nice red and white vehicle out there. That's the fire marshal's vehicle. Now, is that Pennsauken's, or is that Collingswood, or is that state, or how do you fall under state somehow?
Oh, yes, we do. We are evaluated, and we have to report to the state annually on what we do for both municipalities. So we are very much under the jurisdiction of the Division of Fire Safety in the state of New Jersey, which is the Fire Marshal's Office for the state of New Jersey. So it is our job to enforce the code and to carry out the mission, but we are audited by them and report to them annually, yes. The vehicle itself and how we operate, the specifics of the shared service agreement, there's a little bit of both towns. We have vehicles assigned to us from Collingswood, vehicles assigned to us from Pennsauken, personnel assigned to us full-time and part-time from Collingswood, full-time and part-time from Pennsauken. Our building itself is currently housed in Pennsauken, where our headquarters are, but the residents and citizens of both towns can go to the fire station, they can go to our office. It gives them the ability to be able to reach out to us anywhere and anytime.
And now the fire station that is on River Road, is that one still there?
We have one at River Road and Union Avenue in Pennsauken. We have a fire station on Stockton Avenue, which is just off of Haddonfield Road near the Mr. Softies. That is Station 1. We have a fire station at Lexington and Mansion, and that is Station 3. That's our fire headquarters. And then we also have a fire station 2, which is located at Merchantville Avenue, just up the street from the municipal building and the library.
Very good. And how many firefighters do you have, and do they share services as well?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of mutual aid. So in the Pennsauken Fire Department, we have approximately 65 volunteer firefighters, and we have 18 full-time firefighters. The full-time firefighters are assigned to man an engine 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to protect the residents of Pennsauken. We have a full-time fire chief, a full-time training officer, and myself also in that list. The Borough of Collingswood has approximately 35 to 40 firefighters. Of that, the 18, 19, now up to 20, they have a few part-timers they just hired, are full-time or part-time in that. They provide services for EMS as well as fire services, and they house or staff an engine 24/7 as well, and an ambulance 24/7 to serve the residents of the borough of Collingswood.
And so if we have citizens out there who would like to be a fireman or woman,
Yep.
what exactly would they do?
For the Township of Pennsauken, all you would need to do is to contact Station 3 at 856-663-1208. Our new member program coordinator is Captain Michael O'Brien. He would be happy to take information, give you an application, and there are some requirements. You have to go through about 150 hours, I think, now as Firefighter 1 training, so it's quite a dedication. So there's some in-house training. We provide you with all of your equipment and your gear and a pager, and so there's a lot there to offer. In the borough of Collingswood, you would just need to contact the fire chief, and that is Chief Keith A. Davis, and you would be able to reach him at 856-854-7447, and he would be happy to put you on your way to getting an application there.
Very good. And the training is in-house as well as, is there a fire school, I believe?
We do.
that
Yes. Basic Firefighter 1 training in the state of New Jersey is conducted through a county fire academy, and the Camden County Emergency Services Training Center is located in Blackwood, New Jersey. It's a fantastic facility. Chief Paul Sandrock is the Chief Fire Marshal and is responsible for that academy. Most of our firefighters go there depending upon the schedule of the Firefighter 1 training. It takes about 6 months. There's a couple of options for you to attend Firefighter 1 training. They do a weekend course, or they do like a couple of nights a week and then maybe one Saturday to kind of help out some of those who work full-time for a living and want to volunteer for their community. Once you go through basic firefighter training, it includes some incident command modules as well as some basic first aid. You have to be CPR certified. We can take care of that in-house. So it can be a lot, but that's just the beginning. The fire service is something that you don't stop training in. And we do that because we really need to be on our toes. Our business and the red devil, so to speak, fire is always changing. And how we fight it, we have to constantly change with our time. So it's never just a one-shot deal where you go to training and that's it. We are always in training, always working hard to serve our residents.
Well, that's brings back so many memories when you say pagers. I really laugh because of my grandfather was the fire bell, big steel bell in the hallway right outside our bedroom, and when the fire bell went off, I mean, it woke everybody up in the neighborhood, and he would jump up and get his boots and be out the door. So hold that thought, and we're going to be right back with Radio Vision Network here at talking about fire safety here. Fire safety, fire prevention month is coming up. I believe it's October, right?
October is Fire Prevention Month, absolutely.
It is indeed, and we will be back with Radio Vision Network after this commercial. Hold out there, we'll be right back.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
And welcome back to Radio Vision Network. Around Town with Carole is the name of this show. I'm Carole Moore from Edgewater Park, and we are honored today to have Captain Kerr here from the Pennsauken and Collingswood Fire Marshal, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in town this autumn festival time of the year.
We do. We have a fantastic festival coming up called our Harvest Festival in Pennsauken. It is their third year that we've put this festival on. It'll be occurring at the Pennsauken Municipal Soccer Complex just off of Westfield Avenue. The physical address is 1701 Bethel Avenue. It is a fantastic time to celebrate Pennsauken's diverse cultural scene. It's just amazing what we have going on. We have shows, dance shows, we have musicians, we have tons of crafts going on for the kids and for the adults, for those of you who like to paint pumpkins and build scarecrows. We have lots of cool inflatables. We'll have the horse that the
pony ride?
Yeah, it's not a real horse. It's the one where they see him at the West.
The bucking bronco.
Yes,
okay,
one of those things.
Okay.
We're getting one of those. Mechanical bull. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the one. I'm not into the mechanical bulls,
No.
but we are going to have one of those there this year. A lot of people are excited about that. We have a ton of food vendors, about 7 or 8 different food trucks and different food vendors. We have crafters that'll be selling their products there. A completely huge line of jewelry and soaps and blankets, and we'll have Beneficial Bank there. We'll have just a lot of different people coming out to really showcase what they do and the services they can provide to our community. And we'll have one of the cool things we're going to have this year. First year we were able to get it is the New Jersey Hall of Fame Museum. It's a mobile museum. It includes 2 people from Pennsauken in that museum, and is a 53-foot long tractor trailer that expands on the sides, and you get to go in and you get to view all of the VIPs, if you will, from New Jersey, people who have really made an impact, not only in New Jersey, but throughout our country and throughout the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's
How did this come to be?
Well, it came to be 3 years ago when a township committee and some of the people in Pennsauken decided we really wanted to celebrate our cultural diversity. So they created the Harvest Festival. I thought it was a perfect time of year to really get the community together. And we had our Fire Prevention Day separate from that. And 2 years ago, we realized that we were competing against one another. So the fire department really got involved in helping sponsor this event and combining Fire Prevention Day along with the Harvest Festival. So now you not only get all of those awesome things we talked about, but you also get the fire department there with their fire apparatus, demonstrations. We'll have a vehicle extrication demonstration. The best part about it is the fire department will be having a chili cook-off. So each fire station will be contributing a different type of chili, and all of the public get to, for free, walk up and have a taste of the chili, and they get to vote. And we give an award to the station that won, and it's a great time for everybody to come out and enjoy the community. From 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., 1701 Bethel Avenue on October 8th is Saturday, and our rain date's the very next day on Sunday the 9th.
Sunday. And again, I wanted to dedicate this show today to all our firemen and women, also our squads that run after emergencies, and tell them that we understand when the rest of us are running away from a fire, we know that you have the chutzpah to run to the fire. And not many people have that, and we really, really appreciate all the efforts that you've done. And as I said, my grandfather, Walter Bergen, founded the Delaware Gardens Fire Department in Pennsauken when he first was married and was the chief. And if ever you get an opportunity to know a chief and he passes away, a funeral of a chief of a fire department, and any fireman, I believe, is a goosebump time that you want to recognize, because the hook and ladders line up right there in Pennsauken, line up with their hook and ladders up, and they sit the empty boots underneath, and they let the siren ring for the last call for the firemen. And it is a goosebump time, and it is to memorialize all the firemen and women and the professionals as well as our volunteers for many, many decades for all the work they've done in saving our homes, our property, and our lives. And Daniel, I thank you for coming today.
Thank you,
Thank
Carol.
you so much.
The pleasure is all ours.
Be safe.
Will do.
And that's it today for Radio Vision Network. This is Around Town with Carole. And if you have interesting topics you'd like to give me a call here at the station at Radio Vision Network, we'd be happy to interview you and the events that are going on in your town, since the show is called Around Town with Carole. I'm Carole Moore signing off now, and we'll see you next time here at Radio Vision Network.